Little baby told God, hey, I'm kinda scared. Don't really know if I wanna go down there. From here it looks like a little blue ball. That's a great big place, but I'm so small. Why can't I just stay here with you? Did I make you mad? Don't you want me to? But God said, oh child, of course I do. But there's someone special waiting for you. Hush now, baby, don't you cry. 'Cause there's someone out there waiting, whose only goal in life is making sure you're always gonna be right. Love an angel, tender, tough and strong. Come on, baby, it's time to meet your mom. And when she's talking to you, make sure you listen close. She will teach you everything you need to know, like how to mind your manners, to laugh, love and give. She will put you on the right path that will bring you back to me. So hush now, little baby, don't you cry. 'Cause there's someone out the way whose only goal in life is making sure you're always gonna be right. Love an angel, tender, tough and strong. Come on, baby, it's time to meet your mom. Farmer and a teacher, a hooker and a preacher, riding on the midnight bus, bound for Mexico. One was headed for vacation, one for higher education, and two of them were searching for lost souls. The driver never ever saw the stop sign, and 18-wheelers can stop on a dime. There are 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. Why there's not 4 of them, heaven only knows. I guess it's not what you take when you leave this world behind you, is what you leave behind you when you go. The farmer left the harvest at home in 80 acres. The faith and love for growing things in his young son's heart. That teacher left her wisdom in the minds of lots of children. She did her best to give them all a better start. The preacher whispered, can you see the promised land? As he laid a blood-stained Bible in the hooker's hand. There are 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. Why there's not 4 of them, heaven only knows. I guess it's not what you take when you leave this world behind you is what you leave behind you when you go. That's a story that the preacher told last Sunday. As he raised the blasting Bible up for all of us to see. He said, bless the farmer, the teacher, and that preacher who gave the Bible to my mama, read it out to me. There are 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. Why does not for them? Now I guess we know. I guess it's not what you take when you leave this world behind you. It's what you leave behind you when you go. There are 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Dziffa. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And good morning to you too, from wherever you're watching us in the world. This is Breakfast Daily. My name is David Sakyi.
And I am Dziffa. Ametam. That's an interactive show. So wherever you're watching us from, we want to hear from you. Use the hashtag Breakfast Daily to join the conversation.
Yes, and we have a WhatsApp line as well. +233 550 585832.
Now, every morning we start the show with our quote of the day. So we'll take a look at our quotes today.
So the quote of the day today comes from Charles Kettering and says, believe and act as if it were impossible to fail. Believe and act as if it were impossible to fail.
Yeah, I think it's a great
powerful.
Quote. I mean, really everything powerful. Starts in your mind.
Yeah.
So if you tell yourself, I'm not going to fail, then you will act on it. And before you know it, you're already on your way to success. But if you don't believe, you won't put in that extra effort, and then you prove yourself right that, I ended up failing.
Yeah. You know, I think one of the important things to always remember is that failure is a part of the process. You know, so it's not even the fact that you may or may not fail that should hinder you. The fact that you need to act, you need to do what it is that you need to do. So, you know, I think this is a very good quote for us to remember.
Definitely. I mean, especially now in these COVID times when in the beginning of the year, people thought maybe they'll get that job promotion, they will be able to move into this new space, and things may not have gone as planned, but then you have to believe in something new and act on it, and before you know it, you've already dominated that space.
Absolutely. Well, we have a packed show for you today. There's so many things happening. Most important for me is this segment that we have, Hello, Mr. President. It's super, super important because this is how we as citizens are going to get policymakers and duty bearers to get on the ground and do what it is they promised us to do, you know. And so we're not going to sit down and just allow them to just talk and, you know, give us nice flowery statements and get away with it. If you have challenges in your neighborhoods, challenges wherever it is that you find yourself, kindly send us an email, 250-word email, or take a video, 60-second video. Send it to us either through our email, hello Mr. President TV at gmail.com, or on WhatsApp on our WhatsApp line 0550585832. It's important for your voice to be heard, whichever neighborhood you find yourself in and whatever the challenge may be, so that we can call those who are responsible to duty and make sure that they do what it is that they have to do.
Definitely, especially now that we are in an election year. A lot of these guys are going to come into our neighborhoods. They'll be giving us all kinds of promises that they probably won't act on once we've voted them into power. So this is a time to let the whole country know that we've been complaining about this road for 10, 20 years. No one has done anything about it. The pollution from the dust alone is a very big problem for our health. Our daily lives are being more difficult than it should be because of these problems. So just take out your phone. Doesn't even matter what kind of phone you have. Send us those videos. We will show the entire world what you're going through, and the people who are supposed to fix those problems will come and answer to them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Dziffa, I've been on some roads, and when you if you dare not wear a white shirt, you dare not, because you're going to turn red anyway. Whatever happens, you'll be red by the time the journey is over. It's not right. It's just not right. You know, and in 2020 in Ghana, there are roads like that. It doesn't make any sense. You know. Anyway, later on this weekend, on Saturday at 7 p.m., we are going to show you the second installment of the 20 finalists who are auditioning for the top 10. All right, so we did the first one. We showed it to you last week, showed you those who vied for the top 10. That's the first part. The second installment of the same is happening this weekend, so that you're going to see the second batch of the 20 that are going to make it. And then next week, we will then outdoor those who finally made it to the top 10. So it's going to be exciting this weekend. You can't afford to miss it. 7 p.m. Don't miss it for anything. Whatever you do, all roads lead to the TV nearest you to watch Citi TV and watch Keyboard Idol.
Yes, I mean, these kids, there's young adults, they've come from so far. Over 300 of them applied. We had to narrow them down to 20, and now we're going to find out who gets to be part of the top 10. And I think, I mean, at this point, they're all winners, because to even make it to top 20 alone is super impressive. And once they get to the top 10, then we can all begin to vote and find out who will take home the ultimate prize.
Yep. Exciting times. Exciting times ahead.
But I have a packed show today. Philip will be joining us later.
Yes. Philip is going to be, well, you see, every year, the companies, the tech companies, the phone companies, outdoor new devices and so on and so forth. And this year is no different. Samsung has come out with some new devices. Philip is going to be taking us through and showing us what new gadgets are available this year.
And then we have news reviews shortly. But yesterday we went on an adventure.
Oh, we did.
You're supposed to bring the flower. We forgot it. We had a bouquet and everything.
Yes, we forgot. But yeah, it was an amazing experience for me. For a couple of reasons. I've always been very interested in the green economy, right? And I've always been really upset by the way in Ghana we have very little regard for greening our spaces. Okay, now there's a certain mindset that seems to be pervasive in our society that says that if there's green, then it's not developed. If it's green, get rid of the green, put concrete there. Yes, then we are now in the city. It's such a sick mindset, but it's real. And then we went to Parks and Gardens, and such a beautiful place, beautiful place, and so much potential to become, an amazing. I think that we need to turn Parks and Gardens into a public space where people can actually just come and relax in the middle of their day. And we should have places like that dotted around the city of Accra. Look, it'll be beautiful to have something like that down here in Arabaka, and it's a garden, a park. People could just walk in for 45 minutes to an hour during your lunch break, and then you go back to work.
It does wonders for your mental and emotional health, especially now they're talking about coronavirus, people being stressed out. I wouldn't mind on Saturdays, Sundays, just going there to play with the soil, plant, get close to the earth. It just has a way of...
It's very therapeutic.
Exactly.
It's very therapeutic.
And we have it right there, and we're not taking advantage of it. It's so sad. And I would call onto our viewers, if you've never been to Parks and Gardens, just go there, see what it's like. It's beautiful, and I think the entire country, we have to come together to say we need to get Parks and Gardens to where it should be. We should all go there, buy a plant, just enjoy nature. You can just put some cloth on the floor, do a little picnic with your family members and your friends. I was sad that they don't open on weekends.
Yeah.
Because there's so much potential for weekends.
And remember that when we were there, almost nobody else came there.
No.
You know, it's like nobody even. I don't know. Is it because people don't know that it's open to the public, or people don't really care? You know, but I think we need to do something about that. It's a very important thing. We need to do something about that.
So a few weeks ago, eco-conscious citizens, the group that are really advocating for us to save the trees and not destroy any more trees in that area, they were on Breakfast Daily. So when they came, some of our viewers were like, we want to see the problem for ourselves, because when they are here and they're talking to you guys, we don't really experience it. And I must say, I've gone past that road so many times. I've never actually gone inside.
Me neither.
Yesterday was my first time.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I don't know how many years I've been driving along that road. And for those of you who are wondering which road we're talking about, it's nicknamed Switchback Road. Okay, it's the road that goes from Christ the King all the way to Cantonment's post office. All right, that stretch of road. It's right there over on your left if you're coming from Christ the King. If you're coming from Cantonment's post office, it's over on your right, you know. And just opposite the DVLA, the new DVLA place. That's exactly where Parks and Gardens is, you know. And it's almost obscure. So you can't even tell that this is where the entrance is, you know. And when we went there, I mean, the sadness of it for me was, it almost felt like it's been neglected.
Oh, it's been
abandoned.
Yeah.
It's like nobody cares. Meanwhile, we have laws on our law books that protect gardens and parks. You know, and it's so sad to see that we've not done anything about it. We've just left it there. You know, and I mean, when we were as we were walking through and filming and just talking to different people there and the rest, you just feel this despondency. It's almost like, who is going to come to our help? Who is going to come to save this place? You know, and they are responsible for all the parks and the gardens around the country. You know, and this is
their state. You can imagine what the other
headquarters,
other ones are looking like. And I think beyond government, it gets to a point where we, the citizens, we have to come together to say, we're going to develop this place. I mean, I can imagine people still import flowers into this country. We can do that. So we were there yesterday. We'll show you guys what happened, and they'll continue to show. Ago, we hosted eco-conscious citizens on Breakfast Daily, and they talked to us about the state of parks and gardens. Today we are here to experience it for ourselves.
The problem is that we have this beautiful place, Parks and Gardens. We can see what it is, and we can see what it could be if it was given the right funding it deserves. This is a beautiful place that we can come to, commune with nature. You can see the beautiful trees. You can see further down that there are nurseries, trees can be planted. Children can come here, learn about plants and our relationship with plants. We know that trees give us the vital oxygen we need, and then we give them the carbon dioxide they need. And there's a saying that when the last tree dies, the last man dies. So we want people to appreciate the beauty of nature. And I keep on saying that there's a reason why God put us in the Garden of Eden and not the Garden of Concrete. Yes.
Well, it's COVID times. People are talking about de-stressing, how to cope. And we have all this beautiful stuff right in the heart of Accra. Why aren't we making good use of this?
Sadly, we don't value what we do have. You made a very good point. To fight COVID, we need to, what shall I say, boost our immunity. One way of boosting our immunity is to get rid of stress. Come to a beautiful place like this. Breathe in the fresh air and plant something, buy plants and get away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. And in addition, hearing the birds sing, it's that's what we need to sort of get rid of all the stress. And because when we are all stressed out, it's more easy for not just COVID, all other diseases to get to us. In places where they are conscious of nature, every little settlement you'd have a park. Cantonments would have a park, airport will have a park, La will have a park, what have you. Everywhere there will be a park. But what we see happening now is that those who can afford it have beautiful lawns in their houses. But the rest of the people, what do they have? And that is why we must fight for our parks. Sadly, our parks are being built on. And that's why it's a travesty that parks and gardens, which was set up for us to have beautiful parks and gardens and also to acquire lands as parks and gardens throughout the country. The Ministry of Local Government is actually contemplating building an office block of parks and gardens land, which we think it's a no-no. Already enough of our parks have been built upon, have been appropriated. We have to retain what is left. And we are calling on all Ghanaians to say no to the appropriation of public lands for whether apartment blocks or office buildings. We say no. We need to take care of parks and gardens, give it the resources it needs to revamp its infrastructure, and then it can live up to the vision for which our first president, Kwame Nkrumah, set it up under a ministry. It used to be the Ministry of Parks and Gardens.
So we'll talk about what it was when it was a ministry, because as I look around, you can see that this place is properly planned. You see departments where things are supposed to be happening, the places where they are even supposed to be making the bouquet, and it has run down. What was the initial vision from your perspective, and how can we get back to what that was?
Very good question. The initial vision is just as you said. You yourself have seen how well thought out it was. President Nkrumah was ahead of his time. He really thought out things. This is where the nursery will be. This is where we'll make bouquets. This is where we'll be repairing the tools, and so on and so forth. After the coup and some years later, the Ministry of Parks and Gardens was downgraded to a department, and it's been under different ministries. Now, my take is that we can't really see the potential that Parks and Gardens has. So as soon as we see land, all we can visualize are apartment blocks and what have you. So the interest hasn't been in maintaining the place, revamping it, giving it the resources it needs, so it lives up to the purpose for which it was set up. Right now, as you rightly said, it's run down. Yes, this place looks very nice, but we've been to other places which haven't seen any investment.
Their offices don't even have desks, they don't have chairs. What would it take to get Parks and Gardens to where it should be?
Well, I know they've got a new director, and I hope he's taking it in the right direction. I can see many improvements. But what I would also say is that it should go back to being a ministry. It should be independent, able to generate funds and use the funds as it deems fit to improve the place. Because what I've heard people say is that, oh, the place is run down. But I believe it's been intentionally allowed to run down so that the lands can be appropriated. So what we need to do is allow it to be independent, generate its own funds, and then be able to do what needs to be done. Repair the workshop, revamp what needs to be done, buy the plants it needs to be bought, and then do what it needs to do to generate funds. People can come in, they can pay a small amount of money, have a few lessons in whether planting or bouquet making and so on and so forth. And let us begin to see that God has given us this beautiful land. Our Creator Himself, in His wisdom, created us to be able to commune with the environment. And that is why He commanded us in the good book to take care of the environment. And we're not taking care of the environment if anytime we see land, all we can do is go and put concrete structures on them. And as you've rightly said, there is money to be generated from the green economy. It's not just by building office blocks.
Do you believe that we see that potential in the green economy? Because it is part of the SDG goals.
Well, we have all these sustainable development goals. It's very easy to have them, but I mean, implementing them is one thing. If we really believed in it, would we think of down there last year over 150 trees were felled and 5,000 plants destroyed. I think you can see the gravel and things since then. Now we've just finished destroying it. We've left it happily. We're going to build somewhere else. I think if we had the right vision, we wouldn't be doing that. But I believe there are Ghanaians who understand what is going on. We have a place like Legon Botanical Gardens, fantastic place. And I know Ghanaians go there and have a good time. You have Aburi Gardens, whatever state it's saying, people still go there. So I believe that with this program, other people will begin to see that actually there's something to be said for parks, visiting parks and spending the day there with the family, having something nice to, something organic to eat, and again, I said refreshing ourselves from the stress of everyday life. And I think the love for nature is going to begin. But it's one thing to have all these projects, another thing to actually believe in them.
Yeah. What's the role of the ministry in all of this?
Well, Parks and Gardens is under the Ministry of Local Government, and I remember last year there was an attempt to rezone, which was led by the Ministry of Local Government. There was an attempt to rezone this area from green civic to exclusively civic, which means we don't need to have a single tree here, it's just civic. We heard about it, went to the meeting, and the application to rezone was unsuccessful.
Good.
Now, sadly, permission has been given for an office block to be built close to the Italian embassy area on Parks and Gardens land. I think this is a no-no. I don't know what meeting took place, because last year we found out about the meeting and we attended. I don't know which stakeholders were invited. Every stakeholder I have contacted has told me they didn't know about it. So we need to understand how come LADMA granted permission to the Ministry of Local Government to build an office block. We think that that decision should be reversed. If the Ministry of Local Government wants an office block, it can look at the existing office and renovate it, refurbish it. Or there's so many dilapidated office buildings as we speak. We can do an audit of them, find them, and go and build there. But it's a no-no. In fact, I don't know if you appreciate the irony of it. If Parks and Gardens was set up to actually acquire lands as public parks, the little we have, we're actually going to build on it. I mean, I can't get my head around it. And I also like to say that we have very hard-working workers here who have been demotivated because of lack of resources and not being given the tools they need to work. They need to be motivated, because with motivation we all give of our best. So I believe that with the new leadership here, if Parks and Gardens is made independent, the workers will be well motivated, and what we are seeing here will be just start.
So we couldn't even bring you everything, but you can see for yourself there what potential that place has, you know, and what potential we actually have to have many more parks and gardens in the country, where people, ordinary citizens like you and I, can enjoy. It's part of, you know, and there are cities I know, I mean, I've been to other places in Africa where you cannot even cut down a tree without the permission, express permission, written permission of the city council. It's not possible. But in Ghana, we just rampantly do that. Anyway, so I saw the motto of the Department of Parks and Gardens, and this is what it says. I'll read it quickly. Help increase the awareness of to the general public, the tourism that says, no place is complete without trees. A house without trees is charmless. A park without trees is purposeless. A country without trees is hopeless. What should I do? Plant a tree today.
Yeah. And I think on that note, I want to call on all of us to make our way to Parks and Gardens and at least plant one tree. If you can just do that this year, that I'm going to go to Parks and Gardens and plant one tree, we'll get the place back to where it needs to be. This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. Thank you guys so much for staying with us. My name is Dziffa Ametam.
And I'm David Kwekusichi.
Don't go anywhere. We have a lot in store for you.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Close-up deep action. with antibacterial mouthwash formula and deep cleaning gel. Close-up deep action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath.
Thanks, please
Whoa, what's going on, babe?
Have you heard of Wheel of Fortune?
No, what's that?
Register on betplanet.com.gh. Select Wheel of Fortune and win a prize.
What? Wait, I'm just gonna win a prize because I'm new?
Yes, but to win a prize, you only deposit 10 Ghana Cedi.
Before I win, I have to pay?
Really? So you're comparing 10 Ghana Cedi to an iPhone, an iPad, 25,000 Ghana Cedi? Eh? Utumi a drink, Papa.
Okay.
Okay, then spin. Wait, we are ready.
I got some money, but I ain't giving it to you. I got some money, but I ain't giving it to you. What I touch it is them.
There is nothing as hard as a diamond. For buildings with superior strength that withstand all weather conditions, Diamond Cement should be your preferred choice. Locate Diamond Cement nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrady and Bupe. Diamond Cement, as hard as a diamond.
Welcome back. This is still Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. Take a look at our newspaper headlines, then some online stories, and then we'll introduce our guests who are already seated here with us. Let's start off with the Daily Graphic. On the front page of the Daily Graphic, we have 523 million euros approved for railways, Takrady Port, Honey Valley line to benefit. That story is on page 3. President cuts sword for 2 centers at Kolebu. Stories on pages 24 and 25. Teachers to receive 1,200 Ghana cedis yearly professional allowance. That's coming from the minister. And population census now next year. That's coming from the Ghana Statistical Service. And that story is on page 16. We'll now take a look at the front page of the Ghanaian Times. NAT decries indiscipline, disrespect by SHS students. That story is on page 13. Ghana's COVID-19 active case count down 2,134 from 2,458. Total confirmed cases now 41,404. That story is on page 11. Kolebu to get first IVF facility on completion of 12-story 400-bed maternity center. That story is on page 12, and that's great news for all of us. We'll now take a look at the new Crusading Guide. Ripples of Kennedy Ejapon's court case. Kwabena Asante and co. beg Anas. That story is on pages 3 and 10. Akufo-Addo cuts sword for construction of multiple healthcare facilities in Accra. We'll now take a look at the front page of the Chronicle. Kwame Ahoy blows the lid. How Rawlings attempted to torpedo Mills's presidential ambition. That's, if you haven't gotten that book yet, Working with Rawlings, I think you should get it. 10 more years for professors after 60. Finally, 400-bed maternity block for Kolebu La Hospital to be reconstructed. And there's a story here about Carlos Ahenkwa, the former Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry. Tama Traditional Council bars him. Our final newspaper is The Finder. And on The Finder, we have NDC left huge outstanding bills. That's coming from the Education Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, and that story is on page 5. Certified seed producers appeal for government support to sell their locked-up seeds. That story is on page 5. 661 beds costing 251.2 million euros. That story is on page 8 and 9. We'll now take a look at some online stories. I'm going to read from citynewsroom.com. On citynewsroom.com, we have new allowance package for teachers apt. That's coming from Nagrat, and they are actually, lauding the government. And the next story on citynewsroom.com is voters registration exercise was about 80% successful. That's coming from Codeo. Ahoy's book on Rawlings won't affect our 2020 campaign. That's coming from Esiedu Nketia, and he was on Face to Face last night. MPP supervising failing standards of education through free SHS. So it's MPP supervising failing standards of free education through free SHS. That's coming from the Progressive People's Party. NAPO touts education sector achievements to Parliament, silent on resumption of schools. NAPO touts education ministries improvements, but they are silent on the resumption of schools. We'll now take a look at some business news from citybusinessnews.com. On citybusinessnews.com, we have players push for passage of Construction Industry Development Authority bill. Aggrieved customers of defunct First Allied Savings and Loans demand locked up cash. Tax analyst kicks against calls for VAT reduction for aviation and hospitality sector. Artisans Association of Ghana subscribes to UN Global Compact. Government requests $1.3 billion syndicated loan to purchase cocoa for 2020-2021 crop season. We'll now take a look at some more local news from myjoyonline.com. We are 85% through with making Accra the cleanest city in Africa. That's coming from the sanitation minister. Really interesting one there. We'll now take a look at some global news. Joe Biden picks Kamala Harris as running mate. This is great news for all the people who have been advocating for women in public office. I mean, for the greatest nation in the world to have a potential female vice president is a big deal. I'll say that they are taking after Ghana because, but that's not the first time they've done it as well. Anyway, you can get all of your news from citybusinessnews.com and all of your current affairs news from citynewsroom.com. And of course, all updates on coronavirus you can find on citynewsroom.com/coronavirus. Now it is an interactive show, so wherever you're watching us from, we want to hear from you. Use the hashtag BreakfastDaily to join the conversation. If you're on social media, Facebook, you can comment down below. And if you want to reach us directly, our WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. If you're outside Ghana, the country code is +233. I have been joined by Joyce Zempare. She's the Deputy National Communications Director of the NPP. Good morning.
Good morning, India.
How are you?
Good.
You're looking sharp too. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, my pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to have you. Who's the Deputy National Youth Organizer of the NDC. Good morning.
Good morning.
I love your hair.
I love your style.
Thank you. Wednesdays are my favorite because women get to dominate the conversations. We'll take a look at our first story here. I'm reading from citynewsroom.com, and it says, Codeo demands swift investigation, prosecution of persons behind voter registration violence. And I'm going to read here the stories by Ernest Ahinful, and it says the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, has called on the Inspector General of Police, that's the IGP, to fast-track investigations and prosecutions of persons who perpetrated violence during the just-ended voter registration exercise. CODEO further asked the IGP to make available findings of its investigations to the public to foster confidence in the security agencies and to serve as a deterrent to others. It specifically mentioned incidences that had happened at Banda and Doma West, all in the Bono region, and Ewutu Senya East in the Central region. It made the call in its preliminary report on the phases 4, 5, and 6 of the just-ended exercise. I'm going to quote what they said. CODEO calls on the Inspector General of Police and the Ghana Police Service, working with the Attorney General, to act expeditiously to complete all investigations, including the violent incidents in Banda, which resulted in the death of one young man, as well as the incident in Ewutu Senya East in the Central region and in Doma West in the Bono region. Persons found culpable in various criminal breaches of the law should be prosecuted and sanctioned in accordance with the laws of Ghana. CODEO urges the police administration to share updates of these investigations with the Ghanaian public to foster confidence in the security agencies and to also serve as a deterrent against future incidents of this nature. Failure to enforce the rule of law will erode confidence in the security agencies and the rule of law. So before we even get into the CODEO situation, Joyce, your general reflection on how the registration exercise, how it's been now that it has ended, and the pockets of violence that people reported, especially with certain tribes feeling targeted.
Thank you very much. Let me say good morning to yourself, your crew, my sister, and our cherished viewers out there. It was by grace that we are where we are now, so we can't go on without giving thanks to Almighty for giving us opportunity to live once again. Let me say good morning to the President of the Republic and all his working team members. That it was by grace and it is by the choice of God that he is to manage the affairs of this country. I pray that he will continue to guide, protect, and give him the focus and the vision to lead this country to its destined fulfillment. As though I've never done it, but for once, let me take just a few seconds to wish this gentleman
at the end
happy
of the
birthday.
show.
No, this one, Joshua Kitty, let me wish you a very great birthday, a happy birthday to you. Let me end it there. You know I don't do this things.
I know,
right?
as long as today, it's okay. It's your first time. So the registration exercise, your views on how it happened and pockets of violence, and CODEO also coming out.
So far, let me say a big kudos to the Electoral Commission. With all the challenges, with all the hula balloons that preceded the registration processes, I think they've proved to us that indeed they knew what they were about. I cannot just give them that without saying kudos to Ghanaians, the number of people who went out to register, the media, you were out there to give us every information that mattered. The security agencies, they were also there. But as human as we are, I've always said, there cannot be 100% perfection in everything we do. Then we will be acclaiming ourselves to be.
But there shouldn't be violence.
No, hold it. I'm just telling you that as humans, some are, in fact, the occurrences that went or took place during the registration, some are what? Some you can say are avoidable. And there are some that came, in fact, you know, things do come, it takes one or two things to push other things to happen unconsciously. Those ones we can gloss our eyes over it. But those that were intentionally perpetrated for one reason or the other, we'll all have to condemn it. Here we are. Let me make a correction to one thing that could you say that was a loss of one life. No, 2 lives.
Yeah.
You know, the second one also happened in Krakwata, in the Doma West constituency. Why should we lose lives over registration? Why should we get to such a point that will look, and like the president stated in some of his addresses in this COVID period, that look, we know how to turn economies around. We know how to turn, but in fact, we don't have the magic eye, the magic figure to bring people back to life. And that's one thing we should all know, that when a life is lost, it is gone forever. Eternity, you are lost. Wasted years. The pain, the denial from families also, seeing a responsible or bringing up such a person to be a responsible citizen to the benefit of the family, the community, and the nation at large. Well, you come to ask yourself, what were some of the things that engineered some of those things? I hear somewhere misunderstanding of who a resident permit or a native has to be, the suspicion of people passing people to centers, and all those things. And I think the EC had a clear-cut definition of what every agent is supposed to do. But you know, when people brew suspicion, when people's minds and thoughts are not so made clear in their act of restricting people from getting out there to register, these are some of the things that engineer, these are some of the things that fuel this kind of violence.
So do you agree that these individuals should be investigated? And
of course. You see, we've come a long way that things like this happen during elections registration. And you know, elections are always go through a process. It is not only about the D-Day. It's about a preparation towards this kind of registration, what you do during the display of the voter register. At the end of it, there are a lot. You understand? So that's a process that leads to the D-Day. So it is one thing you cannot downplay. That look, let me live, and for that matter, people take it as a serious business. But yet we can't say that because of that, we should name ourselves. We've come a long way, especially, let's bring ourselves to the 4th Republican dispensation, which has been the longest ever in the history of this country. That we've gone through a series of processes to get to where we are. The last I was here, somebody was saying, look, Joyce, when you start speaking, you talk about the giant world, it's taking over 200. I say, yes. It's taken them over 200 years to get to where they are. Even with that, they still have their lapses. But yet, you look at the happening somewhere and you use it as a guidance for yourself, that will help you in your future, prepare you also so that you don't make the same mistakes they did. It is one thing we should all know. So I would say it went so well, despite all the doomsays, despite all the... In fact, we heard that after the before the first week of registration, where people were saying, oh, the increasing numbers of COVID cases were related, when we know that even the gestation period takes about 2 weeks. You know, the things that were said to scare people away, I don't know whether it was intentional to scare, but let me applaud Ghanaians. If you look at the figures, that means people were determined, people were so conscious. They went, the EC also produced all the necessary protocol, gadgets and amenities that needed to be done, and even the process individuals had to go through to get to the...
Thank you very much. Ruth.
Oh, is that how you make me end it?
Your thoughts on Codeo asking for investigations and prosecutions of people who, you know, were behind the violence that occurred when people were just trying to register for their voter's ID card.
Okay, Dziffa, good morning to you, and good morning to your viewers, your cherished viewers. I will say a good morning to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his beautiful wife, Malodina. And I also say good morning to our incoming first female vice president of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Nana Jane. Moving on, I want to say that the registration was a complete waste of time. It was a complete waste of taxpayers' money.
Okay.
It had nothing peculiar. It added nothing. It had no special feature. It's the same old story, actually.
But you registered?
Yes, I have. You don't expect me not to?
But what could be so wrong with it when if we were all able to participate in it?
Yes,
and
we
come out
have been, but we are saying
fine.
that it's of no. There was no basis for us to risk Ghanaian lives, to waste precious taxpayers' sweat and earnings. There was no basis for that. It was complete waste of time, and I think that we shouldn't have gone through this exercise in the first place because it has added nothing new. People from all walks of lives have concluded that even the card itself it's not something that is standardized. It's not something that
I think you can take your mask off. I have mine on.
Okay, so yeah, sure.
So
it's quite.
It's okay.
Okay, thank you. Everybody, people, because what we are even expecting was that the card should have even come out more beautiful. Even if it was more like the Ghana card, we would say that, okay, it's something, better, it's something new. But there was nothing special about it. And for me, I think that it was just one way to siphon our resources.
But the functions are still there. We were able to get rid of some of the issues.
The functions are still there, just like the old one was.
Okay, so what do you make of the violence?
So I'm saying that there was absolutely no need for it in the first place. You understand? It is just a complete waste of time. And we now know that, looking at the turnout, we now know that after all, the register was not bloated.
Okay.
It was another means for MPP hooligans to exercise what they intend doing in the 2020 elections.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is, we saw what happened. We saw the series of attacks. We saw the gross misbehavior of people, men in security uniforms, supposedly military men, supposedly policemen. And for me, what I believe in is that these people are not the real police people, are not the real security people.
But the military came out to say they were maintaining order and peace,
but that is not areas
where,
for example, when you go to Banda, where my own people, the Voltarians, from where I come from, the Tongu people. When we say Tongu, we say by the river or by water. So for my people, what we always do is to chase after water wherever they are, and then what we do is to fish. So they found water, at Banda, within Banda, and that is where they are settling. They have settled there for ages. The people said they were not going to allow them to register, and you had military men, and you saw the footages. You had military men blocking the road. Is that part of their responsibility? Blocking the road, blocking people from getting access or getting, to where the registration centers were.
They said they found some people who were not Ghanaians.
So is that the responsibility of the military one?
No. But the military was there to maintain peace.
What was there violence? Was there any problem?
They said they consulted both parties, NPP and NDC. All of you guys came together and they consulted that they will bring about peace in the area. But what do you make of Kodeo at least saying that
are you aware? I've forgotten the exact MP's name, but are you aware that there's even supposedly a leaked tape by one of the MPs in the Bono region where he's heard to have said that these people should go on rampage, they should beat up our people. We can't confirm, yes, but unfortunately, instead of the police even picking up that MP and investigating for us to ascertain whether it is even true or not, they rather picked the radio stations who were playing the tape. You understand? But so what I want to say is that absolutely this is a complete waste of time, and it was an avenue for the MPP to unleash violence and to unleash mayhem, just like they did in the Ayawaso West Wogon.
Okay, so Kodeo has come out. They say they're going to investigate and prosecute. I mean, we've had issues of
Kodeo is saying
Prime
that
Minister
they should.
and an MP firing shots. They've mentioned that in there. They've talked about what's going on in Bono. Does that help at least so that the people...
It is good that Cordeo has raised this very important issue because it's got to do with lives, precious lives of people, especially with the one which happened in Banda when a young man who had just completed Akim Ebuakwa State College, training college, and was just waiting for his turn to also start earning some income, working and earning some income so that his family can also benefit. And then just in a glimpse, he's just out of this life, and he cannot be found anywhere any longer, just because he thought that he should speak to people and also encourage people to go about, and then register, get involved and register so that they can also vote for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Just because of that, he was.
But we don't know who he would have voted for.
Oh,
registering doesn't necessarily mean that you would
anyway,
vote
but for the
party.
reason what we went today, what his family told us is what I'm relating to you.
Go ahead.
You understand? So for just that reason, he has been stabbed and is nowhere to be found today. It is unfortunate. And as we speak, are you aware that the police who are investigating the issues, they have been transferred?
Okay.
The same case with the Hawa Kumsins, shooting into the crowd or into the sky or whatever.
Shots.
And actually, what we even hear is that she's not even the one who did it.
Okay, well, we can't confirm all the stuff you're saying because the police will be investigating these issues.
But yes, we are also entitled to our opinions anyway. So
these are all allegations. Continue.
Anyway, allegations that we know are true.
Okay,
that
continue.
I know are true. So just like I was saying, just like the one that happened in Hawakumsen's constituency, Asek Ewutu Senya East constituency, the police I hear who is in charge has also been transferred.
Okay.
You understand? And it boils down to the fact that His Excellency, who is the Commander-in-Chief, is complicit in the various violent activities going on.
How do you connect a whole president to all these small cases that are potentially outliers? Because we have 16 regions in the country. Okay, so I'll connect because you remember when MPP came into power first, the police chief, DSP Nanka Bruce, you know what happened to him? Up to now, has there been any investigation? If there has been any investigation, who has been held culpable? We're in a country where the whole process takes time because you don't want to wrongly convict someone, so you need to be diligent with the entire process of investigation.
Okay, so we need to be diligent with the entire process. Where we know in this country where a security, Kumasi security, Ashanti regional security coordinator was brutalized and virtually taken out of his office. What happened to those who did that? Okay. Those who even were arraigned before the court. We had hooligans from Delta forces.
Now we have the Vigilante Act.
Let me end on this one, please. Let me end on this one. So you had the hooligans, 8 of them from Delta forces, who turned into the court, virtually, attacking everybody in there, and the judge had to virtually run, on her heels.
These issues
and after that, what we were expecting was that the law should have dealt with them, but you had an attorney general who entered a nolle prosequi on the basis that there was no evidence. Meanwhile, there were video footages all over.
Well, attorney general still has the right to
yes, he has the right. Yes, he has the right. But is that what is right?
Okay, so do
you understand?
Are you now content that at least Cordeo has mentioned this? People will be held accountable,
yes, Cordeo is going to mention.
Cynical with the process.
Cordeo is not government. Cordeo is not His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa. Cordeo is not the Attorney General. Cordeo is not the police. Was it IGP?
Okay.
You understand?
But
so
Cordeo is calling on all these bodies.
He is calling. But let's ask ourselves. For example, the Nanka Bruce issue. There have been a lot of civil societies who have called on government to investigate in this issue and ensure that those who are culpable are brought to book. As we speak, it's 3.5 years.
Okay.
And still nothing has been done to them. It has not even been mentioned.
Okay.
You understand? And unfortunately, people have lost their lives.
We'll go for a break on that note.
Someone has lost his life.
Come back.
2 other people have been injured brutally. And what pains us most is that all these people, they are dead for no reason, because I know that the Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa will not do anything about this.
All right, this is still Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. It is an interactive show, so if you're watching us on Facebook, you can comment down below. The hashtag is Breakfast Daily, and if you want to reach us directly, our WhatsApp line is 0550 585832. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is still Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. Again, it's an interactive show, so wherever you're watching us from, we want to hear from you. Use the hashtag Breakfast Daily to join the conversation, and our WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. Before the break, we were discussing Codeo demanding swift investigation and prosecution of people who are behind the voter registration violence. They are also saying another thing, saying that the voters registration exercise was about 80% successful. We're going to take a look at that story from citynewsroom.com. It says the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers says that just ended voter registration exercise was generally successful and peaceful. Codeo rated the exercise conducted by the Electoral Commission 80% successful. The coordinator of Codeo, Albert Ahin, said on Eyewitness News that I will give them, that's the EC, about 80% success. I have watched registration exercises all over the country. This was more peaceful even than the limited registration that we normally do. There were a few instances of violence that we condemn, but generally this was an exercise that was quite peaceful as compared to the other registration exercises that we have witnessed in this country. So it looks like, Albert Ahin from Codeo says, in a grand scheme of things, the exercise was relatively successful, 80%.
He is entitled to his opinion, and I respect him for whatever work they have, invested in this very outcome. When you have your people being denied, being harassed, being intimidated by security, personnel, by MPP, government, apparatchiks, virtually being stopped from getting access to register in NDC, perceived NDC strongholds, then I cannot sit here and agree with him that it was successful.
Okay.
You understand? Yes, a lot of people have had a chance to register, but the process through which they had to go through, the intimidation they had to endure to go to get registered, I don't think where we have gotten to as a country, 7 parliamentary and presidential elections, Fourth Republic, after a series of coup d'etats and what we have learned from it and all that, I don't think that getting to this level, we should be experiencing some of these.
Thank you very much.
Especially under a president so-called touted as a doyen of rule of law or whatsoever. I don't think that this is what we were expecting. It is quite shameful, and we should depart from it. Looking at Ayawaso West Wagon, for example.
I'll come back to you on that, but I do have to give Joyce a chance to respond to everything that you said. Joyce.
Oh, so interesting. Well, as I said earlier on, and I'll still retreat, I think, and like Codeo said, looking at the Fourth Republican constitutional rule, our processes we go through before the D-Day of election, I think this has been one of the best registrations that has taken place in this country. So it is one thing we all have to count and be proud of as Ghanaians. And I made mention of it. Look, as human beings, come what be, you cannot have 100% perfection.
But shouldn't we
admitting that there are things that are avoidable, we could have kept away. And those are the things we still have to look up to, investigate, and work towards it. That never again should we at least experience some things again. And you know, my sister, look, if you want to go back and recount what has happened within a registration's date, you will see that this is a T. In fact, a drop in an ocean. Just a drop in an ocean, looking at the percentage of violence. But I am saying, and I'll add my voice to say to the people who say, look, we could have avoided some of these occurrences. Those ones, I'm not going to take away from
what could we
all
have
them.
done differently?
You know, it is about the misunderstandings. It's about, the, like I said, the suspicion, the misgivings about individuals within our own, the two main political parties. That always lead to those violences. There has been a series of stakeholders engagement.
But some people were saying that the NDC, they were, you know, preaching this narrative that NPP is targeting some tribe.
You see, that is a very smart way of NDC. I've always said it, and I won't miss my word. Anytime you see the NDC propagating a message and making it, look, they want to at least get the attention seekers, trying to seek the attentions of people, and at the end of it, they go behind and lynch whatever they had planned.
Okay. So you don't think
Hobbit attacks and styles, in fact, they are good. Those are kind of people who say, look, when you see a goat, just go out and say it's a cow. Look, they always come out with things that are not there, things that they are planning, and they come out accusing their opponents, and at the end of it, they want to get away with whatever crime they perpetrate. When you talk about voters, my sister, what are we talking about? In voters in Greater Accra not allowed to register? Didn't they have the opportunity to register? Didn't they have the opportunity to register in Ashanti region? Were they denied registry in the Upper East and Upper West regions? Look at the figures. I said the figures are there to tell whether they were in denials. And it has come to prove, the figures has come to prove that, look, indeed, our voter register was bloated.
All right.
2016, when we were going to the general election, the total number of registrants stood at 15.8 million, with the Electoral Commission quarantining about 789 voter register because they said those people were either illegal registered foreigners, minors, and deaf people. If you add that 780 something thousand to the 15.8, that was, we're looking about 16.6 million voters as at 2016. By 2019, when we went for the limited registration, we had close to 16.6 million registered voters, plus the hanging fruit of the quarantine figure of the 789. Add it to it. Then you see that, then as at 2019, we had a total voter register standing between 17 to 18 million, approximately 18 million. That means by the end of this registration, even if you should have a little over 1 million to 8, you are heading towards 19 million.
But some people were also advocating that maybe we need to resource the birth and death registrar to fix this problem.
And that is what the president, through the local government minister, had decided that, look, let's localize, let's decentralize our birth and death registry. You saw that last year, just about 2 weeks ago, gone to Parliament, it has been approved, and she's got out there tonight so that...
So shouldn't we have prioritized that over the new voter registration?
You see, it's better late than never.
But was the cost justifiable?
Of course, because we have come to believe in democracy. Democracy is what we're going to depend on to move this country. And for that matter, whatever it has to take to develop our democracy and make it run smoothly, we need to invest in it.
All right, we'll take a look at our next story here. I'm reading from citynewsroom.com, and it says here, NAPO touts education sector achievements in Parliament, silent on resumption of schools. So the Minister of Education, Matthew Opoku Prempeh, has touted the government's achievements in his sector, outlining various policies instituted to enhance teaching and learning outcomes. He, however, did not give an indication as to the plan for schools, which have been closed since March 2020 due to the novel coronavirus pandemic. Dr. Opoku Prempeh was heavy on the actions of the government, like the abolition of the 3-month pay policy and the restoration of the teacher training allowance, among other things. He was also keen on to note these achievements trumped those of the Mahama administration. I'm going to quote some of what he said. To date, over 1.2 million students have benefited from the free SHS program, which has expanded access to secondary education and enabled an extra 400,000 students to enroll in senior high school. Beyond the metrics, he also goes on to say, we recognize that access alone is not adequate in guaranteeing the quality of education we desire. For this reason, government is committed to ensuring quality and relevant education that will produce confident, skilled, and global citizens who are ready and able to compete with their counterparts anywhere in the world. Unfortunately, the minorities say that this is not what Ghanaians want to listen to. Ghanaians want to know when their kids will be going back to school because their wards have been home for 5 months now. Ruth, your thoughts on this issue of the education sector? Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh coming out to share all the achievements of the sector with us, and the minority saying that is great, but we need to know when our wards will go back to school.
Okay, so before I get to that, just
we have briefly. A very few minutes.
Just briefly,
okay.
You know, cut this out. I'm sure you know what happened there. I'm sure you have heard. I'm sure you know, even though you've heard of the student who was crossing to just, you know, get herself educated, go to class, and she was beaten up by these, you know, so-called military people.
And all these allegations that will be investigated, and the perpetrators will be brought to book.
If that is what you want. But I don't understand what my sister was saying. With the 2016 voters register, I know it was just about 15 million. And after the end of this register, we had over 17 million people registering. So it still underscores the fact that the register was not bloated.
It could be that more people have turned 18 and they've gone out to
No, but
register.
It could also be that since the inception of this, the 2016 register or 2012 register, let me put it that way, a lot of people had also passed away.
Okay, so we do need a census to figure all this stuff out.
So it's certainly doesn't tally with what she's saying or what the MPP was touting.
Okay.
17 over 15, and you want to say that it was bloated.
Well, we'll do the census next year, and hopefully we'll arrive at some conclusion. NAPO is sharing all the achievements that the country has gained from free SHS, and the minority is saying that we need to know when our ward will go back to school, because a lot of them have been home since March.
Okay, so I'm sure you have watched the video of our secondary school WASI candidates, exactly, and you heard the things they said. You see, the outcome of a policy, the effectiveness of a policy depends on the outcome. And so when students are angry, students are shouting, screaming, and they are disappointed, and they think that what they went to set for is not what the expectations were. It tells you that we should be worried. We should be worried because why, in the first place, why was the president even so interested in procuring past questions for the students?
Well, that's normal. People get to prepare with past exams. It's part of the preparation.
With government providing past questions for students.
Okay, continue.
The truth is that
is there anything wrong with the government aiding the process of preparation?
Reduced drastically.
It's okay.
Contact hours have been reduced drastically due to the double track.
Okay.
And so students come home, sit home for months. They go to school for weeks.
Why is the minority asking when students will go back to school? Are we sure we are even ready for students to go back to school? We still have a pandemic on our hands.
Let me, I'll get there. But let me get done with what I started. Saying that the outcome of the students going on rampage is a clear indication that free SHS is not as successful as they are touting.
But these are very few students. I mean, 14 students out of what? Hundreds and thousands of students.
Do you think that in this
insignificant percentage compared to the rest of the students?
We have people who are confident enough to speak out.
Well, the large majority of students went ahead and took their test.
Yes,
and if a student is so lazy that they want to inflict harm on someone else,
in every girls, we have to get a teacher for her, extra classes, because the contact hours is so minimal that they are not even able to, get done with their syllables. And for a student to be ready for exams, you must get done with your syllables, you must go for revision, and you must revise again.
Yes, but the role
when
of
you
the
revise
parent is
and
also
do that, that is
important.
when you get ready for for exams, and you know that you are well prepared for it.
So under John Dramani Mahama, you wouldn't have gotten a tutor for your niece?
Under John Dramani Mahama, did you see any students do that?
These are 14 students.
Just
and a large majority of students now have access to education.
One person lost his life, 2 people lost their lives.
Respectfully, you can't compare death to a lazy student who wants to beat up an adult because he can't pass the test.
Don't accuse them. Don't accuse them alone. I'm not saying that what they did was right. Certainly it was disrespect. And even that underscores the fact that what kind of training are we giving to the children?
Shouldn't we hold their parents accountable?
Is it not the fact that we are over-pampering them with this free SHS thing? And so they think that, they are so untouchable, and that certainly they are going to get, free access, and they are going to pass, just maybe even without hard work. Is it not also possible? Okay. Not possible. Okay. You understand? Is it not also not possible? As for achievements,
please wrap up for us.
As for achievements, what we can say is that in the educational sector, teachers, young teachers who are just graduating, are still not happy with the compulsory national service being imposed on them. In any case, as for national service, under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we increased from 350 Ghana to over 500 cedis.
I have to wrap you up here now because we spend more time answering to her.
Almost 4 years in government, they have still not even added a kobo to the national service. What they gain from the national service.
Right,
again, the licensure exams, the teachers are still not happy with it. The automatic promotion that has been cancelled, they are not happy with it. The compulsory promotional exams, they are also not happy with it.
All right, thank you very much, Ruth. Joyce, Ruth is saying that these students are over-pampered by free SHS and they feel entitled. That's why they are acting out.
You see, when people don't believe in policies, they don't believe in processes that will lead to the benefit of the vulnerable, that is where they tend to rubbish anything that is worthy of its cause. I'm not surprised. Today they are out there saying, they believe in free SHS, but they were talking about quality, progressive senior high school. In 2008, they ran over 32 adverts against the senior free SHS. Even in 2017, when the president came out in his sonar and said, look, we are going to start the free SHS. We're going to take the bull by its horn and make sure we give access to every child in this country. There's a video out there, free education 419. Here we are. They have to tell us whether it is 419 or that is the reality. The president said, look, irrespective of the class, wherever you are, your status, you need free. Today, if we're talking about world giants, Japan, America, they all are where they are today because of education. And that is one thing. And let me say, kudos to the president. His able team that led to the implementation of the free senior. There can never be any program running without challenges.
Yes,
and it is always good. It is better to give it a try and fail and improve upon that. That is why they say wherever you fall, you don't stay there. If you need to fall 7 times, get up. And at the 8th time, you might succeed.
Our students have been home now for 5 months.
Yes,
Should we start the conversation of when we are reopening schools?
Of course, it's very important. We know, as parents, it's of much concern to all of us. But it's not only the sole responsibility of the ministry. It needs a stakeholders engagement, various teacher unions, various education, you understand, they all need to, and I believe for the minister to be silent, that means there's something ongoing. Because it's a very important to us.
Shouldn't he update the nation as well if you're going to come
but you know there's always been updates. You know there's always been updates. You know there's always been updates. Maybe he's going to Parliament was on a specific question. You know, when you were called, it was the question that is thrown out there to you that you go addressing. I will not be surprised. I'm not here to speak for him. I will not be surprised that, look, these were the questions that were given out to him and he's going to answer. Whatever it is, they will prepare and come back to let parents know that, look, in the due course, in this time, within this period, our children will be going back to school. And not just the announcement, but the measures that government will put in place to make sure that our children go to school and they are secured, they are protected, and anytime, even when they are confronted with this pandemic that is killing the whole world, that is breaking the whole world, the measures that they will take place to make sure that our children are kept safe, and even if they are confronted with one or two, like we did see when they went the final year students went, the few cases that came, and how government handled it, and how our children went back to join their colleagues to write their papers.
Thank you very much. We'll take a look at it. Yes, we have to. It's an interactive show. We've received messages from our viewers, so I'll read them briefly. Hello, this man from Aoshi. Codeo's call to the president.
I still have to respond to some of the things.
And the investigations are great. But he says that we're in a country, and we're in this country, we have witnessed more violence and scandals than we expected him to react to. But he always played deaf ears. So this government is only interested in promoting crime. That's coming. And he says, greetings to you, Ruth, the last setter, for always a great submission. In fact, the voters registration exercise is one of the best things I have ever witnessed in Mother Ghana. The previous exercise was not only the true Ghanaians that registered, because there were no measures that took place during that exercise. But this time around, the people that registered are the true Ghanaians, because all borders were blocked by the security personnel, and I thank them very much for their efforts to make sure non-Ghanaians don't have the right to register. This is coming from Action Banambu Joseph inside Nadoli Kolio constituency. Another one here. Good morning to you all. Please, I am sad that upon the violence that some of us witnessed during the registration, we are still saying it was successful. Yes, people have gone out to register, but it doesn't mean it was successful. Let us bear in mind that people went out to register because they were not happy with certain issues, and those whose family members were brutalized know the exercise was not successful. This is coming from Na from Wa. Take a look at our final story. CityNewsroom.com. It has to do with that book, Working with Rollins, by Professor Kwamina Ahoy. Yesterday, Esiedun Ketia was on Face to Face, and he said Ahoy's book on Rollins won't affect our 2020 campaign. So it says here, the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, says the book by former local government minister Professor Kwamina Ahoy, which records his time working with ex-President Jerry John Rawlings, will not in any way have an effect on the party's fortunes in the general elections in December. I'm going to quote him. I don't see how somebody has written as his personal account and experience with a founder of our party would generate this amount of controversy. And even if that controversy is raging, I don't see how it comes to affect our elections. Who said people don't attack each other in all parties? If it is about issues relating to the party, fine. But if it is about personal issues, I don't see how it comes to affect our campaign at all. So Ruth, since this is your party and this is your general secretary, I'll allow you to take a bite at this. Have you read the book, Working with Rollins?
We are very busy with
I think you should try a few chapters and see
with campaigning to get our party back.
So no time for reading books.
To government to save Ghanaian people from the mess MPP is putting us through.
Okay.
And so, you know, our time is very limited.
But the whole country is reading the book and talking about it
last
right
night,
now.
for example, I had to get home around 3 a.m. I had to wake up 5 this morning to be here.
So no time for Professor Pamela Ahoy's book.
No time. We will read it, but at this critical moment, we have an election to win, and I think that is what we must all focus on. My sister spoke about.
But it's brought a lot of controversy about your party and what's going on.
I don't know.
Professor Mills being bullied by certain people and everything else.
Really?
Wouldn't it have an impact on your 2020 elections ambitions?
The truth is that Ghanaian people still want to see a situation where NDC comes and we start with the construction of 2,936 projects at the basic schools alone, where we start with 123 secondary schools, and we are able to finish, get students in 50, you know, over 70 at different stages of, you know, completion. Ghanaians are interested in ensuring that the teacher absenteeism that was reduced from 27% to 7% under John Dramani Mahama will further reduce to even 0.
So Ghanaians you won't acknowledge Professor Ahoy's book at all.
So actually, Ghanaians are you know, during
that's fine. At least let me give Joyce a chance to acknowledge the book, because you're not answering my question.
No, I'm answering your question.
What are you saying?
I'm still building my points. I'm saying that Ghanaians have pressing issues, you understand? Ghanaians are worried with the insensitive collapse of banks.
Ghanaians are worried the history behind certain things that have happened within your political party.
My point.
We have just 1 minute to go.
Okay, so within 1 minute, let me build my point. I'm saying that Ghanaians want their monies paid back to them. Those who have lost their money through this reckless, you know, they want their monies paid back to them. Ghanaians want to see a better
want to read what happened with NDC as well.
Ghanaians want to feel secured. Ghanaians don't want to see intimidated, you know, any longer. The only way we can achieve this is to ensure that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama again becomes the president of this country.
Very much,
and so as for what happened between someone, I don't think that it has any effect on us. What we must ask is that what happened between the two of them, they didn't have any negative impact on the economy. They didn't have any negative impact on governance.
I'm going to kill your mic now. I'm going to kill your mic now.
On anything, if it didn't, then I think it's irrelevant.
If you give her the whole day, if you give my sister the whole day, she can't respond to the book. I understand it.
I don't get you.
It's okay. Allow Joyce.
The chickens have come back to roost.
Go ahead.
And if your mother is dead and you said she's in the bedroom trying to put things like around, we'll wait for the 3rd day.
Have you read the book?
A series of it.
Okay.
A series of pockets of it. Well, that's
do you think it would have any impact on
that? Is a story. That is a story, and we've had some babies, alleged babies with sharp teeth coming to this bank, whatever they say. You know, there's been the Danabu also, you know, responding to it. So yes, so we'll still wait to see what comes, and then ahead of the Rawlings also banter with him and all those things. So it is their own cup of tea. It is their heart. Let them wear it. But you know, Ghanaians are also very appreciative of what Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his government are doing. The promises he gave during the 2016 election and his fulfillment. I said the free senior high school.
Still responding to the book.
The free senior high school.
I gave you a few minutes to go on and on, so I'll allow her go on and on. Go ahead, Joyce.
If she wants to be the host, I can allow her.
Go ahead, Joyce.
The free senior high school. If you know the number of parents' homes that are very thankful. If not for this, she spoke about students in discipline, relating it to the president or making available a PASCO to students. Dziffa, you and I know we've written various exams where we know, apart from your textbooks, apart from the teacher's note, apart from the the other one I forgot.
Tutors, everything else.
And then we also rely on PASCO to guide us. It was just an addition. So you don't know. Why is it that we have the printers and all? You saw man coming out, jubilating all over. You see, if students are ill prepared to face 1 or 2 programs ahead of them, that should not be a justification of a failure of the free SHS process or program. No.
Okay.
You see, those people have never believed
out of time.
And that's why, you know,
Dziffa is the Deputy National Communications Director of the NPP. And Della Sedo is the Deputy National Youth Organizer of the NDC. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Close-up deep action with antibacterial mouthwash formula and deep cleaning gel. Close-up deep action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath.
Thank you, sir. Hello, my name is Samuel Ofori, a film actor and a film director. Because of the nature of my job, the taste for quality things is endless. Quality phones, quality laptops, quality TV sets. Let me show you my secret. Here is Franco Trading Enterprise. My secret for quality laptops, quality phones, quality TV sets, accessories, come on, external hard drive, pen drive, name it. For bulk purchase and retails, come to Franco Trading Enterprise. They will reduce the price for you. Franco Trading Enterprise. Home quality.
There are those with untold stories, unraveled feats, life-changing stories, and lasting legacies. They tell their stories themselves on footprints.
I didn't hear let him go. I heard come and take him. They took me to another room. There was this muscle man with a cane ready. With 12 canes. Then I told myself I won't yield. So I kept my teeth together. Pow, pow. I mean, heavy canes.
Lecturer at KNUST.
Lecturer, very popular lecturer, based in KNUST, being whipped by heart by a soldier who, you know.
Be inspired by their hard work and resilience that led to their outstanding achievements as we trace their footsteps through time.
But I was able to set a record at Apollo.
Wow.
Because Apollo is a place that, you know, it's not only one act.
Yeah, of course.
So when you perform one song, you need to leave for the next act to come. I was able to do 2 songs at a go.
Wow.
Because when I was performing, all of a sudden, about 3 African-American girls, they jump on the stage, started to do my similar thing with me. Then the whole, hey, everybody, hey. Then when we finished the music, then I said, do you want more? They said, yeah. Then I looked at the face of the promoter. He couldn't do nothing. He said, okay, go ahead. You know, then I put in the Simgadu, because my first what I did was this song that you hear at Brent said. That's what I did. After that, I put in the Simgadu. Man.
So join me, Samuel Atamensa, and my guests every Saturday at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. for Footprints, only on Citi TV.
Footprint is sponsored by Bethel Logistics Company Limited, experts in shipping logistics.
Welcome back. It's time for us to go to consumer Tech segment, and today on the Consumer Tech segment, Philip Kofi Ashong has joined us, and he's going to help us to get into the new gadgets that Samsung has released. Good morning, Kofi.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing pretty good, thanks.
Yeah, it's good to have you here.
It's been a pretty interesting couple of days. Last week, I believe, sometime last week, there was the Galaxy Unpacked event where Samsung basically outdoored quite a number, 5 devices actually. And so basically Samsung, at the beginning of the event, we talked about all the efforts that they've put in during the COVID period. But one of the things that was really striking for me was the conversation around an ecosystem. There seemed to be a very strong sort of aligning with the idea of an ecosystem.
Okay.
And I'm sure you probably have heard of device manufacturers talking about building an ecosystem. Now, an ecosystem basically is a series of devices and software. So there's hardware and software that sort of work together or come together to ensure that you have sort of like a seamless computing experience, whether you're on your phone, you're on your tablet, you're on your laptop, whichever one it is. And on your screen there, ladies and gentlemen, is the ecosystem that's basically Samsung was talking about at the event. There were 5 devices that were released. Now, when you look at the very first one at the bottom left, that was the Buds Live. It is basically a wireless earpiece with a very interesting design. A lot of people had some memes to talk about how it looked like a bean and things like that. But it is different in a lot of ways, and it's very interesting what Samsung is doing with the Buds Live. Next to it, in its very interesting shape, is the Watch 3, the Galaxy Watch 3. Then next to it is what we call the Z Fold 2. It is basically a device that looks like 2 phones combined into one, where you open it and you get much wider screen space, and then you fold it together to get one single device, or as that's the whole mindset.
Wow.
So that's the Z, and you can see it open that way. Next to it is the one that everybody has been talking about, the Galaxy Note 20 and the Note 20 Ultra. So there were 2 of them that were unveiled. And then right next to it is the Galaxy Tab S7 and S7 Plus. So that's the ecosystem. That is, I mean, these devices plus all the others that Samsung has been talking about basically form part of an ecosystem. We've known Samsung very much for its hardware, but in terms of the software, it's a completely different story. And it's interesting that they were coming at all of this conversation from an ecosystem standpoint, because what's happening now is every device manufacturer is looking at building their own ecosystem. So you have, your Huawei's doing their thing with HMS. You have, Apple doing their thing with the iOS ecosystem and the Apple ecosystem, where you have the iOS, you have the Mac OS, you have all these. And now Samsung seems to be also pushing for that. So instead of just the hardware bit of the conversation, they're also trying to get more into the software conversation. And a number of things that you would realize from the event was their collaborations with a number of other people or other institutions. Prime of them is Microsoft. So you would realize, for example, that now there's a greater integration with Microsoft tools. So whether it is OneNote or it is Word or it is whichever, PowerPoint, whichever, you can easily work between the systems just by having your phone and your laptop with you. So I think that is where they're going. They're looking more at collaborations. They're looking more at integration with different, manufacturers or, companies that provide or that have a stronger track record with, software, and then finding the best way to collaborate with them. Samsung has its own, suite of software, that it provides. But then what you realize is that these strategic alliances that they are striking, especially with Microsoft, is something that they are very, very passionate about. And we're going to show a quick video that sort of summarizes, everything that happened at the Unpacked event, and then we'll get into some of, especially the Note, because I think a lot of people are very interested in the phone. Most people want to get a phone. So let's have a quick intro video of what happened, sort of summarizing everything that happened at the Unpacked event last week.
Let's take a look.
next, no more.
Mystic Bronze will be the must-have color.
We reduced the latency to 9 milliseconds.
20 design is a sustainable premium.
Three apps simultaneously. Productivity to gaming to viewing.
Noise cancellation for open type. Buzz Live, they're the clear winner. One, let's go for a little run. Professionally designed fitness programs.
We continue to expand our Galaxy ecosystem.
Meaningful innovations. Game changer for the premium high-tech experiences. We're going to share more details on September 1st.
The next, no more.
Mystic Bronze will be the must-have color.
We reduced the latency to 9 milliseconds.
20 design is a sustainable premium.
Apps simultaneously. Productivity to gaming to viewing.
Active noise cancellation for open type. Buzz Live, they're the clear winner. One, let's go for a little run. Professionally designed fitness programs.
We continue to expand our Galaxy ecosystem.
So, I mean, basically, those were the devices. So you have that ecosystem conversation going on, and you could see all the devices there, the Note, from the Note to the Buds Live to the Z Fold 2 to the Watch as well. And you realize that there's a lot of integration going on with all these devices. But then, of course, at the heart of the conversation and one of the leading, devices that everybody's talking about is, the Note, the Note 20 and then the Note 20 Ultra. That is what everybody is really, really buzzed about. So let's get into the Note 20.
Let's get into it. Let's get into
the Note 20 Ultra. I'm pretty excited about the event because I think that the Note represents, the height of everything that, Samsung stands for in terms of pushing the boundaries, in terms of pushing the limits of what a phone can do for you as a user. And so I think that they've put in a lot. I really didn't see too much, especially from the devices that they've released in the past. But it's clear that the Notes represent something really interesting. So, for example, what you have now on the back of the phone, and we saw, all the three cameras in the back. We have a 108 megapixel standard camera.
No, you're joking.
No, I'm not kidding. So there's a 108 megapixel standard camera on the back. There's a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens. And then there is a 12 megapixel telephoto lens.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So you have those three in the back. It shoots 8K video. It shoots 8K video, which obviously
that's
means
not even normal.
That means obviously 4K is taken care of. It shoots 8K video. And one of the iconic features of the Note, obviously, is the S Pen. Now, the main improvement on the S Pen is something that they call latency. So latency basically is the time it takes for you to take the pen, apply it onto the screen, and when what you've written basically appears on the screen. Initially, in the previous iteration of the phone, you had 42 milliseconds in terms of the latency. They've cut it down now to 9 milliseconds.
Are you serious?
So you are literally, it's like almost like in real time. It's literally in real time. It's like you apply and then boom, it's right there. And that's for me is the biggest talking point there. And we are going to just show you now some of the highlights, about the phone, especially the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra, so you can see what exactly we're talking about. It's a very, very interesting phone. It's a power-packed phone. In terms of battery power, it's pretty incredible. It literally will take you through the day, especially if you're a power user. And one of the things that really strikes me is the conversation about the gameplay and the association with Microsoft, because Microsoft is the one that produces Xbox. So now there's been an integration with Xbox where you can actually run a number of your games right on your phone. So you can literally start your gaming on your Xbox and continue on your phone by just having the Game Pass. So there's a Game Pass that basically you would have to subscribe to, and you can literally continue your gaming on your phone, because a lot of the gameplay is online anyway. So we're going to show you just a highlights video of the phone, the Galaxy Note, and some of the things that really stand out, for people who typically like to use the phone. So we're going to show that to you in just a bit. But for me, it's really interesting that we can have. So that is the S Pen, as you can see there. Basically, like I said, the latency has been reduced to as 9 milliseconds. So you're literally writing and getting everything straight as you write. So there's the 42 milliseconds from the previous device has been thrown out of the window. It's been completely rejigged. So we're just going to listen to basically what the phone is all about, and see what you would and should be expecting on the device.
This is not work as you know it. This is the power of a computer suite in your hand. Smart, fast and efficient, S Pen does what your computer can't. With 3 times faster latency, it responds just like a real pen, except it's got a brain. If your ideas start to take a turn, Note 20's AI uses millions of sample sentences to keep them right on track.
Hi. Hi. What do you need?
Audio Bookmark lets you sync audio to the notes you take, so that you can replay and pick up whatever you missed.
Specs. They're asking for 1920 by 1080.
Coupling S Pen's brainpower with Samsung Notes and MS integration, Note 20 does what your desktop doesn't. Now you can convert your notes to PowerPoint and share right from your couch. Open your notes on tablet or laptop. Even sync to OneNote and Outlook to keep all your thoughts up to date.
Do you want to add anything?
Better yet, unleash your mobile apps on PC using Link to Windows. Drag and drop files from your phone on your desktop. Order lunch, catch up, run multiple mobile apps at once. You can even toggle across all your devices. Since life isn't just about work, you need the power to play. This is not just mobile gaming. This is Xbox gaming on your phone. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate gives you 100 plus Xbox games without download. Now you can play what you want, with who you want, thanks to 5G. Behind the scenes lies the only phone camera with pro-grade video. Shoot 8K with movie-like features that lets you change the zoom speed and skip the editing process, all from your phone. Take complete control of sound design with Audio Mic. Choose between front,
action,
Omni, or use Buds Live on Bluetooth mode as a mic for extra clarity. Then simply point your Note 20 Ultra to another and share your masterpiece with UWB technology. It's that easy. You can watch on the big screen with Samsung DeX's wireless connection and do two things at once without interruption. This is not mobile tech as you know it. This is the power of performance. Note 20 Ultra's 120Hz display is super smooth, making it easier to see what's on your screen. And you get hours of screen time from just minutes of super fast charge. A full charge in the morning takes you into the night. This is not like any phone you've had. In fact, it's anything but. This is the ultimate power phone. The power to work and the power to play. This is Samsung Galaxy Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra.
And I mean, basically, that's it. It gets you excited, just seeing the possibilities.
Oh, God,
and
Philip.
It is, for me, what excites me is the fact that the device doesn't work, exclusive of all the others. You see the integration between the phone, between the watch, between the Buds Live, and it's very interesting how they are building that ecosystem mindset, whereby you have one that this one connects with this one almost literally seamlessly. And I think it's very, very exciting times, with regards to the mobile telephony space and what is possible, what is actually possible with all the devices that we have. So I mean, these are the devices. For me, I find, a lot of the things in the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra to be very interesting, because for a power user, for someone who's, on the go, who needs to use, you have all the power
to do that,
you would want in a mobile device. And it's there, you can see it. All the power tools that anybody would need, whether it is gaming that you're doing, or, you're someone who is constantly in the office, taking notes. One of the most exciting things for me is the fact that there's a platform called DeX. Now, DeX is basically a way of connecting your phone to a TV screen. It started off by having a hub where you connected your phone and then you connected to a TV screen.
Yes.
I think last year there was just an HDMI cable from your phone, from a USB-C to HDMI. Now it's wireless, and we saw that in the video. It's now wireless, so you literally just connect your TV screen to the phone, and then DeX basically operates. Now DeX basically allows you to access everything on your phone on a TV screen. So for example, if you're in the office, you're going for a meeting, you are doing a PowerPoint presentation. You don't need all the wires and the cables. You just basically connect your phone to your TV screen wirelessly, and you are gone. It's what is possible. It's the things that people consider the boundaries, that we are beginning to see manifest, in all its beauty and all its glory with devices. And I mean, like I said, there are 5 devices that you can choose from. There's the watch, the Galaxy Watch 3. There's a Z Fold. I'm still trying to properly appreciate the Fold, and where it fits in terms of an average user. It's a very expensive device. Let's not kid ourselves about it. So how exactly does it fit into the life of the average user, as compared to, for example, a Note or, some other device? But Samsung definitely will have, a thing or two to say about.
So with the Z Fold, is it that you're trying to do a cross between a tablet that becomes a phone?
What it is. That's exactly what it is. Because when you open it, it looks and feels like a tablet. And when you close it, it's a mobile device. And, pushing the boundaries in terms of flexible, screen, does it break, does it not break? How long can you open and close? Pushing all those boundaries and what is possible. So you can have a phone that opens up into a tablet and then closes back into a phone. All those possibilities are there for you to consider and think through. So the 5 devices forming the ecosystem, but obviously standing tall amongst them is the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. But for those who want to pre-order, for example, I think in my conversations with the team at Samsung, you can actually start pre-ordering on Friday. Pre-ordering ends on August 28th. You will get the device on September 4th. And I'm told that the Note 20 Ultra is going for $6,999. That's 6,999 cedis. And then the Note 20 is going for 5,499. So basically, those are the prices that are going to be going with. So by Friday, pre-orders will be open. You can start pre-order a device. And I'm told that if you order the Note 20 Ultra, you get the Buds Live as part of the package. But if you order the Note 20, you get the Galaxy Buds, which is currently what is in circulation. So it's a pretty interesting time for mobile people who enjoy using your mobile devices.
Wow.
Yeah.
Philip.
It's exciting stuff, isn't it?
It's too much adrenaline right now. I mean, it's just like, oh my goodness.
Boy.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for enlightening us and showing us all of this. So you said it's about 5,499.
Yes. So
for the
Note 20 Ultra is 6,999.
Okay.
And then the Note 20 is 5,499.
Okay. All right. And then this Friday.
Yes, this Friday pre-order if you want to, But I mean, it's. My thing about the Galaxy range, especially the Note 20 or the Note ranges, it's not a device for everybody. If you're not a power user, I would suggest, there are quite a number of other Samsung devices to go for. Because you'll be very much undervaluing and underusing the device if you go get it. But hey, it's a device worth getting.
Thank you. Well, we've been speaking with Philip Kofi Ashong, who is the head of TV production here and at Citi TV, and also the host of Citi Trends on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll be back after the short break. Don't go anywhere.
There is no promise we cannot keep. There is no commitment we cannot honor. There is no delivery we cannot guarantee. There is only one Bethel Logistics Company Limited, a licensed international freight forwarding and clearing agent, a trusted global brand with an extensive network for the movement of air freight and ocean freight worldwide. We are the trusted name for road freight into Western and Northern Africa. We are fully accredited by Ghana Customs and Excise. We cater for all your freight forwarding, customs clearing and forwarding, cross trades, inland transportation, internal cargo tracking systems, customer freight costing and consultancy, cold chain logistics management, logistics and warehousing, quality inspection, and much more. In Accra, Tema, and Takrady, we are always available to ensure easy movement of cargo countrywide. Call us on 0204 528 900 or 0244 707 859. Email info@bethellogistics.com. Locate us in Accra at North Ridge, adjacent Accra Girls High School, or in Tema at Community 4, or in Takrady on the second floor of the GCB building. Website bethellogistics.com. Bethlog, experts in shipping logistics.
Welcome back. It is time for the Hello, Mr. President segment of the show. All week long, we've been asking you to send us videos of problems you're experiencing within your communities, and you've sent them. In case you have not sent them yet, though, you still have a chance to take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video. We want to see what's happening within your community, problems that are inhibiting your growth as a Ghanaian. The email to send that video to is hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. You can also send it to us via WhatsApp at 0550-585832. We'll take a look at some of the videos that we received this week.
Numo Nana Akufado. Problem feel no okay yeah la kwe John ani one bubble fight kono kwe or toilet you or you are me angana for so many years ni agbele ekomeni yo maybe atola sani ocho mo ato ene ba aton dani ene akwe na nimi o one bubble fight na agbele won ko ke gbe ni ba fe abagba ake abawono awono traditional council amen aka ama ake gutter etwa washam ni washam me je gutter ni sanaka gutter atwom e wo ene me ne fe wo ga akwe kuna akwe ni atol gbejano to pepepe e han kono wo mi ahye wo ka wo fon sike no fon sike ojugba you know president wa bia ni wala na wo vote wo ha bo na fi ni no ba vote wa ne to wo ye bia wo toilet e komi efite abasa kepia na ji wo to la life we ra na fe onye product aba pon bia na fe ya ka ba fe gba ka ba fe gota afe wo shi ami gba oni yo court e gba oni wa ba fe gota ke chon eni me fe gba wona o qualify kone ba bo mo de ne to tune ke ni na de ke lad ma yo ko na ko ba ko na afọ wo ife wo wona koyo wo won qualify le che ba ko na fini woni wo ko ba vote woni wo vote na ne fe fine.
So answering Tanisha's call is a very normal thing. We all do it every morning, and the worst thing you can possibly experience is to have to wait in line for minutes, sometimes hours, because you only have just this one public toilet in your entire community. So the people in La are asking policymakers to please do better. If it's building more toilet facilities for them, let's do that. If helping them get it in their homes, let's try and do that, because it's your basic human right to be able to answer Tanisha's call. And every single year we advocate that we should not defecate openly. We are always campaigning against open defecation. But if the only option the people in this community have is to go to this one toilet place where they have to wait in line for minutes, sometimes hours, just waiting to answer Tanisha's call, it is not great. So we reached out to the MCE of this area. He said he would not talk to us this week, but they will come back to us next week. So we will revisit this story of the state of these public toilets within the La community, and then hear from their leaders on exactly what they are doing, because the people living there are Ghanaians just like you and me, and they shouldn't have to go through this every single morning when they have to answer to nature's call. If you're in a similar community that are experiencing issues like this with your public toilet, please let us know. The hashtag to use is Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550585832. If you also want us to come into your community to see problems that are going on, you can just take out your phone and record again an up to 1 minute video. Send that video to us via our email, hello mrpresidenttv@gmail.com, and we will address it every Wednesday. There's absolutely no reason why Ghanaian citizens shouldn't be able to easily answer to nature's call in a humane way. They don't have to wait in line for 10, 20 minutes. We all know that when you gotta go, you have to go. You can't wait. And if we don't construct more facilities for them, they are all going to end up defecating openly, and we don't achieve anything. We received more messages, so we'll take a look at a video we received from Pong Katamanso and then continue the conversation.
From the Ponkantamanso municipality. Mr. President, the major problem the residents are facing in the municipality is the poor state of the roads. Whenever it rains, students cannot move from their various homes to schools. Market women cannot also move to trade. Vehicles cannot use the roads because they find it difficult to keep the car in balance, because there are lots of deep and large potholes on the roads. The roads are untarred. In the dry season also, there's a lot of dust, and inhaling of this dust, has a negative impact on our health. And so, Mr. President, we need your help. The issue of street lights is also a problem. The issue of water is also a problem. We need your help.
So this Pong Katamanso issue is something that we receive almost every other week. We have a freelance journalist with us, Carlos Caloni, and he's going to help us really understand what's going on the ground. Good morning, Carlos.
Good morning, Dziffa.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Please let us know what's going on in your area.
Okay, as you know, Pong Katamanso municipality is one of the fastest growing municipalities within the Greater Accra region. And this is so because of the municipality's proximity to the thermal industrial area. And so you find a lot of people moving to this area just to settle. But there is a problem. The challenge here has to do with the bad roads of the within the municipality. Several times we've had a lot of agitations and demonstrations from residents and drivers alike. And this is really, really increasing day by day. I have with me some drivers who would want to share with us their experience and their own assessments with the roads within this municipality.
Okay.
Please, what is your name?
My name is Sakyi.
Can you speak up a bit?
Yeah, my name is Sakyi.
Okay, so what do you do?
I'm a driver.
You're a driver.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what can you tell us about the state of the roads within this municipality?
In fact, the state of the road is very, very bad. It's not helping us at all. Well, when somebody is pregnant, they want to send person to the hospital. For me to put them from Bidiaku to the general hospital is very, very bad. For you from Bidiaku come to the junction, it's for almost about 30 minutes. The road is very, very bad. And then, I don't know what is going on. We, the drivers, we have been paying income tax, road work, TMA, but still, it's still a road very, very bad. It's not helping us. Our ball joint, our tires, if everything's just falling, the road is condemning our car.
Okay, so which specific roads are we talking about here?
One is from Tema, in reach Kumbaria, from Baria to Michelle Cam Gate, from Bediaku Junction. When I come from Kumbaria, there's a main junction going to Bediaku. Where people are living, most of people come from Tema and they live at Bediaku. So from Bediaku Junction to Bediaku itself is very, very bad. It's not good at all. It's not any good condition at all.
Okay, so this is really affecting your work.
Our work and our business.
And we hear a lot of the drivers are planning some sort of demonstration again.
Yes. We planned several times, but they don't allow us to do it. But in recent times, we've done one. But and then the man that have won the primary election came to our end and told us that we shouldn't do the demonstration because they'll do the road for us. But still, we are not seeing anything going on.
Okay, so this is really affecting your. Thank you for talking to us. Dziffa, so you can hear some of the drivers there expressing their disgust about the roads within this municipality. I have with me here also the assembly member for the Mlichako electoral area in the person of Isaac Newton Tete. He is going to tell us his own assessment of the roads within this municipality.
Okay, so Isaac, go ahead.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're live on Citi TV. So give us your full name.
My name is Isaac Newton Tete.
And you are the assembly?
Yeah, assembly.
Okay, so what is your own assessment of the roads generally within this Punkatamanso municipality?
Well, if you ask me of Punkatamanso, I think we have bad roads. We have bad roads across the board. Look, when you talk about Punkatamanso, for 2 consecutive times, we've been awarded as the best IGF denoting assembly. And look at the state of our roads. Look at the state of our roads. It means that we give government more money. But there's nothing we can see on the road that shows that the money we are paying for is what we are getting in return of the payment in terms of property rate and other stuff. And it's very worrying. Look, when you take for instance, the roads here, my brother, you cannot even lap this road for 2 minutes. Look, when I was campaigning, I met four ladies who told me they lost their pregnancy, meaning they had miscarriages on the roads. And though I have no scientific research to prove that, but I think what they are saying, add up. Look, when you take a road from Barrier to even here, it's supposed to take about 4 minutes or 5 minutes at maximum. But look, drivers will use about 20 to 30 minutes to come to this place. And you ask yourself why? We have told authorities, I have made myself, I went to the assembly myself, I've even gone to the roads ministry to investigate what is happening. You don't know who is telling you the truth. You don't know who is either the MC or whoever. The drivers try to demonstrate to show their disgust to the nature of the road. And then the sitting MP, who is my boss, Honorable Kudiagbo, and then the MPP parliamentary aspirant, when they put them to stop the work, to stop the sit-down strike, and told them that at the end of July, the roads will be put. And we are in 11th of August, and there's nothing I will put on the road. Look, I asked from a reliable source, I can tell you that I was told that the road has been awarded to a contractor who don't have only one road in his hands to do, but more than one road. And you see, this man will go to other places, and we don't know when he's coming here.
Okay, so which specific roads are we having this challenge on?
The Calypso to Bediako Junction route is very terrible. So when the drivers tried to demonstrate, they came to a level from barrier Calypso to high tension and then left the rest. I wish you can go there to see for yourself. I mean, it's very bad. The drivers every day, they are, I don't know their parts name, but always you see them parked on the road because their cars are being damaged. And it's very bad. You tell them we should do the road. You see, the road, we should not add politics to the road. You understand? We should ensure that the people who are applying the road or who are paying dues or rates to assembly get good roads and work very well to also take up themselves.
Okay, all right.
The situation is very bad.
Okay. Dziffa, so you can hear. You can hear the assembly member. You want to ask some questions, right?
Yes. So generally, to you, Carlos, living there and seeing how people are living and the problems that they've experienced from these roads, can you share some of those stories with us, Carlos? And thank you to the assemblyman as well.
Yeah, thank you very much for. Yes. So I can say that recent times, speaking to taxi drivers within the Bediako station and some residents. One man mentioned that he lost the wife who was in labor. I mean, they were transporting her to the Tema General Hospital, but they lost the baby, and then the mother also died later because they were unable to reach the hospital on time. And this is just one of the many stories residents here within the Pong Katamanso municipality keep sharing. If you can see behind me, you can see how bad the road is. There is the bridge that also connects the Bediako to Community 25. You know, that bridge is slowly being washed away. And there has been series of demonstrations by residents trying to draw attention of the authorities to fix the road, but nothing has been done. If you go to Bechele, the same story is there. If you go to Zenu, it's all over. And recent time, we've had journalists even leading some demonstrations within the Zenu, Washington area, just to draw attention onto this road. But as we speak, Dziffa, nothing is being done on these roads. And I can say that the roads are very deplorable. How long has this problem been there? And do you see any solution in sight? Are there any progress that people can see, okay, maybe in 2-3 years, our roads will finally be fixed? Well, I can say that the problem has been there since creation, let me put it that way, because this is a new settlement. And so we've not had any tarred roads within the municipality. And yes, you cannot find any construction works going on these roads. They are bare. From time to time when we are approaching elections, you see some pockets of activities on the roads. But generally speaking, there is nothing to show that in the next 3 months or 4 months, we're really going to see any rehabilitation of these roads. What do you usually hear from the MCE and the leaders of the area? Because you've been trying to get a hold of the MCE to be specific, and he's not available to comment on this. Do you get the sense that they genuinely want to solve this problem for the people there? Yes, Dziffa, that is another angle of the story. If you talk to residents, some will show you letters they've written to the MCE himself, just calling on him to come to the area to look at the situation. A lot of people are alleging or claiming that all attempts they've made to the MCE, to reach him to solve this challenge that they have, has not been successful. And in recent times, I remember myself, I wrote to the MCE over some material that was poured on the Bediako road, which was more like dust. And so if you come to the area now, you see that the whole place is dusty. People cannot breathe in their houses and all that. And this is really causing a lot of problems. So when I tried to reach the MCE, it was like, oh, well, he is not a contractor. Myself, I'm not a contractor. So I couldn't talk about the quality of the material that was put there. And so it appears that the MCE really is not up to the task, in fixing these roads that we have within the Pong Katamanso municipality. That is the general feeling within this area. Okay, so for the people who are living there, how does this, affect their productivity? Firstly, what kinds of people live there? Are they middle income? Give us an idea of the people who live in this area. Yes, we have the middle income people, and then the low income and the affluent and the rich people all cut across live within this area. Now, you ask a very important question, which is how this is affecting productivity. In the mornings, you'll find a lot of vehicles queuing up, going at a very, slow pace. And this affects some residents we've been talking to say they get to work late. So definitely the bad state or the deplorable state of roads within the Kpong Katamanso municipality is really, really affecting productivity.
Okay, so what are the people asking for now, moving forward? What would they like to see done?
Yes, what the resident motorists, everybody is asking for is for the roads to be fixed, not to be, as it were, like come to clear it from time to time. No, they want the roads fixed, and they want the bridges also fixed, because when it rains, before you're able to even cross from Bediaku Junction, where we are standing now, to Community 25, which is just about 3 kilometers, you can't go. There are times that you have to even sleep over until the flood waters clear. So what the residents are saying is that they want these roads fixed, not to be maintained. They want everything to be fixed, the roads tarred and all that. Otherwise, as we speak, drivers and residents are seriously planning massive demonstration. And according to some that we spoke to, they are planning to block the main Aflau road just to draw attention to this issue, so that government will attend to their challenge.
Okay, do you have more people there who would like to share their experiences with us?
Yes, I have some drivers here.
Okay, if they have on their face masks, they can come and share their experience with us.
Yes, unfortunately, some of them do not.
They don't have. Okay, but it's fine. But yeah. Generally, what more would they like to see? I mean, it's an election year. Politicians will always come there and ask, how do they ensure? What are they going to be asking for them to do as far as implementing this road problem for them?
Well, for Kpong Katamanso municipality, top on the agenda is the roads, because virtually, I can say, about 85% of roads within the Kpong Katamanso municipality are in a very deplorable state. They are untarred and unmotorable. So if you speak to residents, on the agenda is that the government or the politicians, as they put it, should fix the roads within this municipality for them. That is their core and main issue on board.
I know some women are not there, but what were some of the stories the women shared with you as well?
Yes, like I mentioned, one woman we spoke to at the Bediaku station, she lost her pregnancy because whilst they were going to the hospital, she had some challenge, and then she had a miscarriage in the car, and so she lost her baby. We cannot actually say we saw it, but that was what she said to us. And a number of such stories are within the communities. The nearest hospital, the nearest major referral center is the Tama General Hospital. And for you to get there, you have to travel these roads. Now, imagine a woman who is in labor and then going through these heavy potholes and manholes, just trying to get to the next hospital. You know what really can happen. So these are stories they've been sharing, with us.
Thank you very much. I see a young man behind you with a mask. I'm not sure if he wants to share his story with us and he's ready.
Okay, come. Okay, all right. So, yes, so what would you want the government to do about this, your road challenge within the Kpong Katamanso ministry, especially the fact that we are in the election season?
What we want the government to do for us.
Can you speak up a bit?
Please let him put the mask back on his face.
We are paying.
Put the mask back.
If we are paying, DMA tax and then income tax to the government, then what is this? He's getting a lot of masks. So what we demand from is that you fix the rate for us. We are paying taxes, so you should fix the rate for us. Every 3 months, income tax, DMA, we pay every year. So what is this money for? We have to benefit. So he needs to know that he must do fix the rate for us. That's what we want from him.
So this election season, your demand is that the roads should be fixed within this Kpong Katamanso.
So the previous government for a very long time has been in power. Nothing has been done. So if we really want this the municipality to be under the FB government, then you should do something about it for us. But a lot of people here who are working in the government agency,
So you do something so that we can have a good access road and pass and go to work.
How is this bad state of the road affecting your? I believe you have a wife.
Sure.
Yeah. So what can you tell us how it's affecting women within the municipality?
It's affecting women, one. But if you are going to the market, you need to get to the market very early to get the stuff that you wanted. But because of the bad nature of the road, the car needs to delay you for a very long time before you get to the market. And before you have to come back again too, the car will still have to do, even if there's some customers waiting for you in the house, when you get to the house, they are going to a different place to buy whatever they want to buy from you. So it's affecting our women and their businesses.
Okay. So Dziffa, you heard him there. Yes. Apart from the motorists and residents, women are equally being affected by this bad road.
Thank you very much, Carlos Caloni, for being with us.
Thank you, Dziffa.
So there you have it. We are going to try and get the MCE later on, so we'll revisit this story because we need them to answer to exactly why, since the creation of this municipality, people have not had good roads. Women are losing their unborn children because of these terrible roads. We can't even talk about the effect it has on school children. Cars are breaking down, so the people there are not able to be productive. These are Ghanaian citizens, and their human capital is essential for the development of this country. If we neglect these roads, then indirectly we are saying we don't care about them and their growth. So we are going to get a hold of the MCE next time and have him answer to some of the questions they've raised. All they are asking for is for their roads to be fixed, which is a basic right that they deserve so that they can get from point A to point B. Women can go to the market and come back on time. If you have to think about waking up every morning and going on that road every single day, it would even add to your stress. I'm not even talking about what happens to that place when it rains. So we need to do better, and we will be calling onto the policymakers of this area the next time we air this show so that they answer to these problems. Again, if you're experiencing any problems in your community, bad roads, healthcare system, non-existent, terrible schools, how are your children supposed to be globally competitive when the places they are studying has nothing to offer them as far as getting them ahead? Take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video. We want the entire country to see exactly what you experience every single day. The email to send that video to is hello@mrpresidenttv@gmail.com. And if you want to send us a WhatsApp message as well, our WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. If you don't have a smartphone and you can't record a video, don't worry about it. You can write out exactly what you're experiencing to us. Send an up to 250-word message to the same email, hello@mrpresidenttv@gmail.com, and send it to us via WhatsApp 0550-585832. And every Wednesday at 9:30, we will bring those messages to the country and call onto the policymakers who are supposed to answer for them. We started out with the problems going on in La. Waking up every day and answering to nature's call is simple. It's supposed to be normal. It's something we all do. The process, though, shouldn't be in such an inhumane way that you have to hold on to something you are supposed to let go of because you can't get access to your public toilet. It is bad. It's inhumane. We can't excuse it. And we can't blame the people of this community when they participate in open defecation because the option they have is not good enough. We need to get to a point where we don't blame Ghanaians for acting in a barbaric manner when we ourselves have failed to provide them a decent, humane alternative. Every single resident in this area deserves to be able to answer to nature's call the minute they feel it. They shouldn't be standing in line for 10, 20 minutes because they don't have enough public toilets. Roads in Ponkatamanso, people are waking up 6 a.m. to whenever time they go back home. They have to be at their absolute best. They have to be productive. That cannot happen when your roads are terrible. So we need to solve these problems and bring solutions to Ghanaians so that they can know that they have the opportunity to contribute the absolute best of their human capital to the development of this nation. This is still Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. We'll take a look at our entertainment highlights and then continue the show.
Welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Ato Kwamina. The Film Producers Association of Ghana, FIPAG, has suspended Ghanaian actress and film producer Tracy Boache over the use of foul language in her recent outbursts on social media. According to a statement signed by the association's president, James Abuaje, what Tracy did in her videos was a diametric opposition to the Ghanaian cultures, traditions, ethics, and sensibilities. The suspension means that the actress and film producer will not take in any part of the association's activities until further notice. This comes after Tracy and musician Miss Bell were engaged in social media fights recently. Actress Ife Odo has suggested that every government official in Ghana must ride in local cars, specifically Kantanka cars. This she believes is a way of promoting the agenda of used Ghana-made products. The Kantanka group of companies was founded by the pastor of Christo Asafo Mission of Ghana, Apostle Kojo Safo, in 1994. They have been manufacturers of cars, TVs, sound systems, and a lot more. Adding her voice to the call of Ghanaians to patronize Kantanka cars, Ife took to Twitter to say, every government official should be driving in a Kantanka car. I guess they don't like Ghana-made products. People have always complained about the price of Ghana-made products, but she says if they can buy V8, they can buy Kantanka. Kanye West has admitted on Twitter that he misses his one-time friend Jay-Z. The two artists' relationship has become strained in recent years. Dashing fans hope that they might one day release a follow-up to their joints in 2011, the album Watch the Throne. That album celebrated its 9-year anniversary on Saturday the 8th of August. He added that he asked the Big Pimpin' rapper to be his running mate in his presidential election bid. And that's all for Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Ato Kwamina.
All right. Well, welcome back. And we've had a packed morning.
We have.
Yeah,
from
I think
Parks and Gardens.
Yeah, I know, right? And you know what? The feedback from Parks and Gardens is incredible.
Wow.
A lot of people are talking about it. So I think we're going to have to develop this subject further.
Yes.
You know.
I mean, I would love for us to spend a weekend there just planting, getting to know the soil. It's so therapeutic. So we might challenge our viewers to meet us there one of these days to plant.
Why not? Why not? Why not? And I believe that all of us should try, if you have a little space, no matter how big it is, the smallest space, 1 meter by 1 meter, if you have it, just let's start doing something with the soil, planting and so on. And we can even do things like, you know, buckets, old bottles. Let's just start developing something.
We'll do that. Actually, I think we should even do a DIY thing from Parks
and show people how easy it is to make it happen.
And we got a bouquet that we keep forgetting to show our viewers.
You want to show the bouquet?
David, can you please bring us the bouquet? We want to show you guys the beautiful bouquet we got.
So during the opening episode this morning, the first 30 minutes when we're going through, you saw a lady there cutting and snipping flowers there. This is what we did at Parks and Gardens. They did this, and she literally did this in what?
In like about less than 2 minutes.
I mean, it was incredible, you know. So this is what we have, you know, and we don't take enough pride in
what we have. I think we should have her show us how to do this. On our DIY segment. Maybe this week, depending on how we feel.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for joining us for Breakfast Daily. My name is Dziffa Ametam.
And I'm David Kwekusechi.
If you missed anything at all, don't forget our YouTube page, Citi TV. Go there, like, comment. We want feedback, you know, and subscribe. Share it with your friends as well.
Absolutely.
Keyboard Idol.
Yes, Keyboard Idol.
Saturday.
Don't forget. It's Saturday, 7 p.m. Okay? Don't forget it.
Enjoy your day, guys.
All right.
Goodbye.
Take care.